your perfect protagonist. Yours, not anyone's, yours. Hey, are you tired of creating flat, unrelatable, and forgettable protagonists? Maybe you're frustrated with your inability to create a perfect protagonist. Perfect for your story, a three-dimensional main character. The key, in my opinion, to crafting a remarkable protagonist lies in tapping into a powerful storytelling element that often goes overlooked. Theme. We'll learn how to use theme today, okay? Say yes. But what is the meaning of theme for us writers?
I'm glad you asked. Theme, ladies and gentlemen, is the invisible thread that weaves through every aspect of your protagonist being, making them feel authentic, relatable, and unforgettable.
But how exactly does theme shape your protagonist? And how can you harness its power to create a main character that truly resonates with your readers? Well, buckle up because I'm gonna tell you.
Theme.
Many writers focus solely on crafting intricate plots and witty dialogue, but they neglect the very essence that breathes life into their characters, which is, say it with me, theme. This crucial element, in my humble opinion, has the power to transform a mediocre protagonist into an unforgettable hero. When a protagonist's arc is intricately woven with a compelling theme, they become more than just a fictional creation. They become a reflection of the human experience, of us.
Not me. Sadly, I'm a robot.
Theme, remember, is the underlying message or universal truth that a story conveys, the central idea that the author wants to explore and share with their readers.
The protagonist based on theme.
Crafting a theme driven protagonist requires a slightly nuanced approach. It's basically about understanding the core of your character's being and ensuring that every aspect of their arc, from their initial state to their ultimate transformation, is a manifestation of your story's theme. When you get this right, your protagonist will not only captivate your readers but also leave a lasting impact long after the final page is turned. They become a symbol of the human experience and reflection of the truths that bind us all.
The two archetypes that Lucas has made up.
Have you ever noticed that some protagonists seem to leap off the page, grabs your attention and refuse to let go? While others, despite their importance to the story, can feel a little bit of a passive character. So, as I've delved deeper into the world of fiction, I've come to realize that there are two distinct archetypes that most protagonists fall into. And understanding these archetypes can be the key to crafting a main character that truly resonates with your readers. I made these archetypes up. That's a disclaimer for you, lovely viewer. That's what we do as fiction writers, we make things up. What exactly are these two archetypes, and how do they shape the way we experience a story? Well, let's start with the first type, the passive hero. This is a made up subtype of the passive protagonist. So, let's first define what a passive protagonist is.
A passive protagonist is a main character who is reactive rather than proactive, often driven by external events rather than taking initiative to drive the plot forward.
A passive hero, on the other hand, can still be engaging and compelling. They still are mostly reactive, but there are ways not to make them seem reactive. Come here. The secret is the passive hero needs a clear goal in each scene. Take Harry Potter, for example. In the early books, he is a classic passive hero, just trying to navigate the wizarding world and survive his classes. But in each scene, he has a specific objective, whether it's winning the Quidditch match or uncovering the mystery of the Philosopher's Stone. And on the other hand, we have the dynamic protagonist. Marv?
Active hero takes charge and drives the story forward. These characters are unpredictable and larger than life, often acting against the plot and taking the story in unexpected directions. They're not just active, they're proactive.
Think of Jack Sparrow from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. He's the epitome of a dynamic protagonist, always one step ahead with a trick up his sleeve and an impossible to pin down nature. Yeah, I know. He's a side character for the first movie, but Johnny Depp's magnetic performance made him steal the show and become the main protagonist on the following movies. But here's the thing, the best protagonists, I noticed, often embody both of these archetypes at different points in the story or in their journey. Consider John Wick. In the first part of the movie, the very first part, he's a passive hero grieving his wife's death. But then the inciting incident happens, which is the murder of his dog, and suddenly John Wick becomes the most dynamic protagonist imaginable, tearing through the criminal underworld like a force of nature. And that's the key. The inciting incident is often what triggers the shift from passive to active. It's the moment that kicks the story into high gear and forces the protagonist to take action. And remember, the stage where your protagonist is still passive is a way to introduce your readers to the world you're creating. So passivity is fine. And then after that inciting incident, the active change is there, and that should be where your reader is hooked in your story. So, whether you're a plotter or a pantser, understanding these archetypes and how they can shift over the course of a story is going to help you craft a more compelling and engaging protagonist. By harnessing the power of both the passive and the dynamic hero, you can create a main character that truly captivates your readers from start to finish.
Protagonist plus lesson.
Have you ever wondered why we're so drawn to stories? I swear to you, this will come back to the protagonist topic. Because, as it turns out, there's a deeper reason behind our fascination with stories, one that goes beyond mere entertainment. Because stories are more than just a way to pass the time, they're a way for us to learn, to grow, and to make sense of the world around us. To impart a lesson, because that's the core of every story. It should be for the readers to learn a lesson. May it be romance, fantasy, horror, sci fi, anything. They're there to learn a lesson. I don't know about smut though. And at the heart of every great story lies a protagonist, the hero whose journey we follow from beginning to end. She or he, or whatever POV the protagonist is the avatar of the reader in your book. We witness the challenges they face, the obstacles they overcome, the lessons they learn along the way. And through their experiences, we gain insight into our own lives, into the human condition itself. And these lessons are all guided by theme. For me, it's the glue between the protagonist and the lessons. So, the next time you find yourself lost in a story, pay attention to the protagonist's journey. Watch as they face their fears, conquer their demons, and emerge transformed, because in the end, that transformation is the very essence of what makes stories so powerful and what makes them such an essential part of the human experience. You see, a protagonist is only as compelling as the challenges as they face, the obstacles they must overcome. And more often than not, those challenges come in the form of a villain, an antagonist who stands in opposition to your hero's goals. But crafting a truly memorable villain is no easy feat. It's not just about creating a bad guy for your protagonist to defeat. It's about developing a complex character with their own motivations and fears. And that, my friends, is what we're going to dive into next. Because if you want to create a tale that will stay with your readers long after the final page, then you need to know how to create an antagonist that is every bit as compelling as your hero. So, if you're ready to explore the dark side of storytelling, if you're eager to learn the secrets of crafting a villain that will keep your readers on the edge of their seats, then you won't want to miss our next video. Click somewhere in the screen and I'll see you there. Like and subscribe, by the way, and have a good one.